Long.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We have another great session for you here. I'm going to give everyone just a couple minutes to jump in and then we'll start right at 12:15. How are you doing today, Sean?
I am excited. It's a fantastic day. Yes.
Agreed. Agreed. We're going to let a few more people pop in. Hi, Brandon. Hi, Dan. Hi, Katrina, Mary Ann, Sonia. Got a good group here. Well, I am personally excited about this topic, Sean. I know AI is such a hot topic right now, and learning about the practical uses of it is there's a lot of interest in that, right? Because there's a lot you can do with it, but how do you incorporate it practically into your sales and marketing processes? So, all right, we will officially get started here. Sean, I will give a quick intro for you. I know we've personally worked together over the last couple of years and a number of capacities and roles. So, Sean is the CEO and co-founder of ActiveDEMAND, a customer acquisition and engagement platform. He has 30 years of experience in building technology businesses, and his work, what I love about ActiveDEMAND, it really connects practical AI, marketing automation, performance measurement, and ties all that into directly with movements and revenue. So, Sean, excited for your topic today. I will let you take it away.
Okay, I'll see if I can. There we go. Perfect. Let me know if you can see my screen. Is all good?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you all for joining today. This is an awesome event, and I'm very happy to be participating in this. I've been working with Smart Pearl Digital for many years. I know it's a case that actually the reason I'm in senior living is Katie. That's the reality. Is my first integration with Enquire was for Katie back in the day. So it's a case that yeah, I would not be in senior living if it wasn't for Katie. Is the reality. I know Sarah and I worked together for several years. Is the
Yeah.
reality. So
Small industry, which I love.
it is. It is. I love that as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about actually sort of AI in action, right? Instead of just in theory or what could be done, I'm going to be giving real examples of how AI can assist. And at the end of the day, we've been hearing about it for so long. Let's actually see what we can actually do with it. Now, it's sort of like everybody's using this as a statement that, oh, AI is going to solve it, right? It's the future. Everything is going to AI. AI is going to be, if you're not using AI, where have you been? It solves all problems. Yeah, everything's a nail. I mean, if you think about it, it's a hammer and everything's a nail. Well, AI is the answer for everything as it seems. And the promise of AI as well is that, well, it's super intelligent, and all we need to do is use the right prompts, right? And uh, the reality is a little bit different than that. There's a lot of concerns with AI, and there's a lot of, I think it's still early, even though it's so prevalent everywhere. And hopefully you'll see in this presentation sort of where sort of the rubber meets the road, where it actually can be used in real use cases, and also discussions about trust. Now, in marketing, I've been marketing for many years, and the traditional approach to marketing is something like this. It's, you know, defining, the audience, as who we're trying to target. We uh, build buyer personas, and I think everybody on this call has probably went through the process either themselves of building these buyer personas, or they've hired consultants to come in and define the buyer personas, and then we do uh, sophisticated segmentation to try to target these, classify the individuals we're engaging with as soon as possible, deliver appropriate content and engagement with these personas, and then measure the success, right? I'm sure, yeah, everybody on this call has these personas somewhere collecting dust on some in some cabinet or what have you. So really, it's I'm sure you've seen something like this, right? Okay, there's a male adult child, Tom. We give him a name. We give him a sort of a background. There's a female, they have some relationship to the prospective resident, Betty, who is well described with some persona. And the reality in all this is that this doesn't work. It never worked, is the reality. And it never worked. We can convince ourselves that it's a tool and it's helped us as marketers to engage with prospective residents during their journey, and maybe it helps us as communication tools internally. But really, I argue it doesn't work, and it's never worked. And why is that these personas are caricatures, right? They're not real people. They're uh, generalizations of people that in reality match very few people. Like I know when I went through the process finding a better care environment for my mother-in-law, I'm an engineer. I run a software company in senior living. My wife is a physician in senior living, and nobody's persona that you guys have developed, I don't think I match any of them. Neither does my wife. And if you think about yourselves, I'm sure a lot of people on the call have been in the industry for a long time, and think about why you came into the industry. It's probably because you've had a situation where you had to help a family member, transition in later life. And the question I have is, think about yourselves. Do you match the personas that you've created or have done for marketing? And I argue probably not. And that's really the point, is that it's hard to measure and it's hard to map these caricatures to actual people. And so, really, if we think about engaging with people as individuals, right? And this is really, I think, what needs to be done. Is the most success is when you actually treat people as actual people, right? Not just when they move in, but during the entire journey. So when we think about an individual, what defines this person? Well, yes, the demographics do describe somebody in buckets, if you will, but really it's a combination of the demographic profile, but also their experiences, their relationships, their engagements, their interests, their journey. That's who a person is. And we really need to engage with people in marketing as individuals. So, really, how do we do this? And I've heard this story many times as, oh, I know, we'll hire a community concierge. Many of us have traveled lots, so we've been in hotels where we've had an experience with a fantastic concierge, right? This person is a fantastic, active listener. They're personable. They're friendly. They seem to know a whole bunch about everything. And when you talk to them, it's as if you guys have, that you've been friends for ages. And they adapt the communication style to different people. Oh, Mr. Leonard, how about did your daughter get sick when you went on the boat today? They remember you as well. Now, if we could just get this concierge in every one of our communities, they would help the individuals through their journey. Now, why don't we just do this? The reality is because we've also had experiences with horrible concierges. It's also, we've waited in lines for concierges as well. It's hard to scale. So really, the idea in my mind for AI is better occupancy outcomes with less effort, right? It's really about finding using AI to reduce the effort that it takes. Like I use AI lots in my job, right? It's sometimes I actually get AI to create presentations. This one I didn't, but I've definitely have done it before. And the idea is again, it's about I think about power is the ability to get things done, right? And the nice thing about AI is it allows us to get way more done with less effort. Is the reality. So the core concept of AI is it's really about, if you will, taking large amounts of information and having computers recognize patterns. And behind the scenes, there's a lot of math and stuff going on, but I don't want to bore you with it. But really, it allows it's a tool that allows a computer, if you will, to actually respond to individuals. If you give it the right data set and the right training, it can actually provide an experience when you're engaging with it is like an individual. There's lots of stories where people are, you know, and I don't want people to go there, but they're connecting with the agents and just spending a whole bunch of time talking to them. The point of the story, though, is it's really at its core, it's about taking a data set, putting it into a tool, and the tool does something for us. So really, the nice thing about AI is it allows us to shift from the traditional way of working, which is generalization and treating people as caricatures, to hyper personalization. It's really, and if we think about the personas, it's not about building these shapes and, forcing people through them. It's really about dynamic persona generation. It's just like that picture I showed you, is the more we engage, we can use the data to let AI actually generate the picture of the person, who that person is, and engage with that person. So really, it's transitioning from broad stroke segmentation to something I call engaging with the audience of one. So really, the nice thing about AI is there's lots of ways to use AI through the entire journey, from first thought of maybe, mom needs we're going to have to find a better care environment, all the way through to move in. And even beyond move in, there's lots of applications of AI in care that are happening. And so, really, the impact is really about this audience of one is treating people as individuals. Like I've been in the hyper personalization technology business for many years. I've created technology that adaptive websites, adaptive emails, all of this type of stuff. Really, like 12, 13 years ago. What's changed is the amount of effort to make it happen, right? And the impact of this with hyper personalization, I've seen it literally increasing just on the website, for example. If you can engage on the website that is adaptive, 300% increase in page depth, 400% increase in session length, and definitely a 200% lift on conversion rates. And this is just through hyper personalization. But again, this is the concept of that is not new. But the nice thing about AI is the effort to actually achieve it has been reduced significantly. And really, if we think about on the operational side of things, it's we're all living in the whirlwind. We all have too many things on our plate, and really, it allows us to get more done and deliver better results with the same level number of people. Is the reality, because there's an increase in productivity per person if we're actually, driving occupancy with the same, improving occupancy outcomes with the same team of people. So really, it's the case that when I think about AI, it helps us as individuals get more done and scale what we're doing. And when I think about AI, there's really two categories of AI that I think about when engaging in marketing. The first type of AI is the AI that we train to to engage directly with our prospective residents. Something, and I think that the one thing about uh, uh, these agentic AI bots is it's similar to people. It's you can't hire a superstar that knows everything. It's better to hire specialized people to solve specific problems within your operations, right? And it's the same thing with AI. Like if you think about this generalization versus specialization in medicine, imagine if we there was only one type of doctor, and it was your family doctor. And you go see your family doctor, and the doctor says, "Oh boy, you've got a heart murmur. I think we're going to have to do open heart surgery. Nurse, give me the scalpel." Right? The outcomes probably wouldn't be too good. So, point is that it's the same thing with AI. Is the way if we're entrusting AI to engage directly with our prospective residents, really what we want is a team of highly specialized agents that are trained to engage on different aspects of the prospect's journey. And these agents work together and hand the ball off between each other and it provides a much better user experience. The other type of AI, which is extremely important, is really the AI we use to get things done, right? They're two separate concepts, right? The tools the agents that we train to engage with our prospective residents, and the agents that are trained to do what we need to do and get our jobs done. So in active demand, we call this active demand intelligence or ADDIE. And it's kind of funny. My CTO, is also my sister-in-law. She has a daughter named Addie, and we didn't name our active demand intelligence system Addie because of that, but it makes for interesting conversations. Like, why don't we just ask Addie? Why don't you ask my daughter? That's that's what that's to me. But yeah, we call it Addie, which is a combination of the agents that we entrust to engage with our prospects and prospective residents, and then the AI marketing assistant to help us get things done inside the platform. So I'm just going to start off with talking about the community agent, it's the agentic AI bots, if you will, that we train and have these engage in different aspects of directly with client engagement. So really sets our AI apart is it's the only truly private LLM. And what I mean by that is, if we think about things like Claude or Copilot or ChatGPT or et cetera, there's a whole bunch of these. These are I call them public LLMs because you literally they're trained in general concepts. They know lots of things about everything. And when you ask it a question, you have to send information into their platform and they take that information and respond, right? So it's questionable whether or not it's HIPAA compliant, right? Because of you have to be careful of what you're passing into a public LLM. Whereas Active Demand's LLMs, it is truly a private LLM. No question that you ask our Gentic AI agents ever leaves our infrastructure. And it's trained on your infrastructure. You can have as many of these agents as you want. And training them is very easy because it knows what ActiveDEMAND knows. And ActiveDEMAND knows a lot about individuals, right? Because it's tracking everything that person does, all of the content they consume. Somebody goes to the website. Addy, our system, knows what each page is about. And during a session, it actually knows what the individual learned. When they're phoning, it knows what was talked about on the calls. It knows everything that's in the same. It knows the contact relationships between people. It knows things that literally any expert should know. So if we're going back to the story of treating individuals, people as individuals, it's really having a agent that truly understands an individual and their context. And this is done on a per community basis. You can have a whole fleet of agents in each community, and it's trained, again, they're trained on the data of the community as opposed to in general terms. So, really, what this does is it also provides the ability to learn over time, right? As it learns, the more it engages with an individual, the more and it doesn't matter which agent it is, the more the agent is better prepared to treat an individual as a person. This truly enables this concept of engaging with the audience of one. And really, it's a case that, again, you can deploy. We have clients deploying many agents, and for example, one agent for crafting personalized emails for people, another agent to answer the phone, another agent to chat about memory care, another agent that understands assisted living, and another one that understands pricing. Right? It's truly, and all of these agents can coexist and pass information or pass the ball between each other. And again, it's you're not training. It's that your training of an agent isn't training one of your competitors' bots because each of these agents exist only in your community. So I'm just going to go through a bunch of examples here, and I'm just going to pass things off to Sarah. We'll do a quick poll.
Yep, I'm going to go ahead and launch this poll here, and we're going to talk a little bit about what repetitive task would you like AI to take off your team's plate. So we'd love to hear some feedback from you guys. This poll is launching now, and feel free to weigh in, and let's see what everyone is interested in. I know something that's overwhelming for me and other clients we talk to is just how to use AI because there's so many different ways to integrate it into your systems and processes. It can be a little overwhelming to figure out where to start. So Sean, I'm excited to hear some real world examples here. I'm going to just give everyone a little bit of time, and we really have kind of what seems like across the board different preferences on where they would like to integrate AI. So what's kind of leading the way right now is writing and personalize follow-up emails, which is to me kind of like the first duh. Yes, we need to be using it and that, but I know you're going to talk about some ways to take it a lot further in the process. So I'm going to go ahead and share the results here. The leading kind of category was writing and personalized follow-up emails, and then following very close behind is re-engaging older leads and creating and updating campaigns. One I'll also call it is finding and interpreting reports. So I think that's all really good data. Sean, I know you're going to touch on some of these examples, so I'll let
Yeah.
you dive in.
Can you run the next poll too? Because I'm interested to see what is holding people back. I know we have two polls there. We're going to run the other one later, but can you do you have the second poll available? Is that possible?
Yeah, for sure. So I think what also is another major question in everyone's mind is like, what is your biggest concern about using AI in prospect and family communications? So I just popped this poll up here too. I think we all agree that AI needs to be involved in your systems, but I think we all know that AI doesn't always get it right either 100% of the time. So I know, Sean, you're going to talk a little bit about like
Yeah.
guardrails that can be put in place so
Yeah.
that there's still that human element. We want to make sure that everything is super personalized, but we want to make sure it's accurate and correct. So I'll give everyone just a couple minutes here as well. And again, kind of across the board, there's a number of concerns. So let me go ahead and just end this poll here.
Fantastic.
So leading the way, yes, losing the human touch. I think that's my biggest concern is we know that generic messaging does not work. So we have to make sure that there's guardrails, that it is personalized and sounds.
Did you share the results on that one? I didn't see that
Yes,
there.
sorry, I'm going to hit
Okay.
that right now. Thank you, Sean. So here are the results from that poll. Protecting prospect and resident data, maintaining brand and message control, receiving inaccurate or unreliable information. Yeah, just some of the concerns. So,
Yeah.
Sean, love to hear what kind of tips or recommendations you
Yeah.
have around building guardrails to make sure that all of these concerns are addressed as well. So. Let's dive
Very
in.
cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing, everybody. And I think the biggest one is yes, we needed to do things for us, but yeah, how do we get the trust, right? Especially with a new tool. AI is like a new tool, and how do we gain that trust with it? Is something I hear over and over again. And through the examples I'll show you, I'll also give you sort of a story as to how the example came to be, right? And how we got it to resolve the concerns, if you will. So the first one is re-engagement campaigns, right? So we've all done these where there's a whether it's the salespeople are too busy or they're lack of communication, but there's a group of leads that they came, they engaged with us, and then there's silence, right? And we don't know how these what's happened to them. Did they find a better place? Did they are they still looking? Are they thinking about it? Are they thinking about us? They thinking about some? Did they move somewhere else? There's all of this stuff that's going through us, and we invested heavily to get these people to engage with us, right? We engaged, like we held events, we paid advertising, all of this budget we've spent to get these people to engage with us. They engage with us, and then silence. So it's a case that, and I'll show you how and I've seen the first case. I'll show you an example of a re-engagement campaign, which I call as a traditional re-engagement campaign. And then I'll show you how we can do it with AI to hyper personalize the engagement. So this is maybe if you haven't been in our system, you may not know it's a flow. This is a workflow in ActiveDEMAND, and it's a traditional re-engagement campaign. We have people, we add them to a list, then we're going to send them the first email. It's something like this. Hey, it's been a while since we chatted. We're here at Special Care. We're doing wonderful things and help to improve your journey. Let me know where you are. And then the person clicks one of the buttons, and then based on how they click their button, we have another little sequence that follows up. So, for example, if they're researching, maybe we just click this, and if they don't do it, we do a follow-up email, etc. And if they so traditional re-engagement campaign, I'm sure many of you have done something just like this. Now, the problem with the traditional approach is back to my example of treating people as people, right? This is clearly a one size fit all generic approach, right? And if you wanted to go much deeper on personalization, it's going to require significant amount of work to classify people and get them down the right path so they get the right email content. And I know many of you, I've been working with you, and it's a case of seeing you do things just like that. And Dot did fantastic and again, this is the way it was done before AI. Now, this is what it looks like with AI. And so it's a way less, way much fewer steps, right? It's people enter the campaign. We send them a warming email. We send them they didn't engage. We sent them something else. If they didn't engage, maybe give them a lunch offer. And then this one I'll talk about in a couple of more examples is leveraging AI to actually reach out to the person. Now, what do each of these emails look like? That's it. There's literally, it's just a signature and content that's going to be generated for the recipient. And so, really, what it is a prompt, right? And you can actually ask Addy to generate the prompt for you. The prompt I'm going to show you, I couldn't build it. It was a case that Addy built the prompt. And what it will do is with the prompt, when the email sent, it's the case that it will look at, and I'll just expand this. It is literally the input is using the contact's journey. And what is the journey? All the website pages they visited and learned, the content they learned, the content they consumed, the discussions they had on the phone, the discussions they had on chat, what the salespeople entered in the CRM about them, the relationships of the people that who is the siblings. It literally everything that person's done through the entire journey way back when they first visited the website as an anonymous visitor. And it's really just their journey. And then here we're telling the prompt just says, hey, create a call to action that works for them. And we give them some examples, and it knows the website as well. But we gave some examples too for Addy to understand, right? And that's it. Now, it's a case that then the second email, the prompt is really same thing, but don't give the same call to action to the person that you gave before. Now, I'm sure back to the comments is okay. How do we? Yes, it solves the problem of getting rid of generalization, but how does it? How do I feel comfortable that this is going to be that it's not going to go off the rails? So with Addy agents, first there's the training, and that's done by literally pointing at the website. I have, in fact, there's people on this phone that I know have uploaded their sales playbook, or just asking Addy to create a story of who the community is, what the community is, what makes it special, etc. And then there's a single box inside the agent that defines the guardrails, right? And the guardrails of what thou shalt never do. It's literally a list of things that you shouldn't be doing, and the persona of the agent and the tone and how it's going to carry itself when engaging with your customers. And the nice thing about specialized agents, rather, I'll tell you a story about a general agent that frustrated me so much. And you'll see the difference between agentic AI and general AI. It was a weekend and I was trying to get something done, and the people who do graphics for me were not working. So yeah, I have a license to Photoshop. I've never used it. I'll just open it and see if it can create this image for me. And there's AI in it. And I tell the AI what I want. It builds, and it's using Gemini. And I tell it what I want, and it creates an image for me. It isn't perfect, but it's got a border stuff that I want, and then it asks some questions. It says, "Do you want me to reduce the size of the border?" And I said, "Yeah." So I click it, thinking. Sorry, I can't do that. you want me to do change the color of the background of the image? I said, yep, thinking, thinking, thinking. Yeah, no, it doesn't do it. So I have to work with a prompt to try to get it to do exactly what I want because it's not trained, is the reality. But because Active Demand's agents are trained so well on your community, a simple prompt like this does it. Now, how do I get the trust? There's a button that says test this prompt with a contact, and you pick the contact and you press test and you see what it would say. And this flow that I showed was actually built with Heather Salazar from Christian Communities, and she said we need to use AI. I'd like to use AI. Sean, what do you recommend? And I recommended this. She's like, oh, I don't know. So we started on a small batch and she just started testing with different records in that batch. And this is what you see when you test. This is one of the emails that was sent. Simple email. And it took with that individual person, their journey, and created that email for that person. And then tested with another person. Again, it looked at the individual and was surprising how well it did at creating content. And so what Heather did is she screenshot these what she saw in the tests and passed them to the uh, the sales director for the community and said, "Would you be comfortable with sending an email like this to these people?" They're like, absolutely. Because they know the individual and they're like, yeah, I remember this record. And yeah, that's something that I would write, as opposed to the big fancy HTML email that's generic. Every person gets a unique email and a unique call to action. And the observations on this, what went well, is how little effort it took. Literally, it was just um, asking Addie to create a prompt, give it the context. It generated that prompt and put that in the email content body. And what was and the adaptive, we'd actually put in some examples for Addie to understand as far as call to action. So it was very easy. And what was surprising was how well it did at creating personalized content for each of the recipients. And Heather agreed was it wasn't scary as she originally thought, and definitely the sales director thought, that makes sense, right? And there was a couple of lessons learned through the testing, but we got it before we actually sent it. Was to put in explicit instructions to not mention that we knew that they went on the website, right? And that would be instead of put in the prompt, we'd actually put it in the training of the email agent. And also, we didn't use predictive send to predict which ActiveDEMAND also does, is using the predictive send to look at their behaviors to understand when is the right time to send the email to the individual. So it was an amazing experience, and for a first step into AI, it definitely gave some confidence. Second example two is event reminders, right? We all do events. And if we think about the effort required to get people to RSVP, and it's the nice thing about an event is it's way better than any brochure or discussion on the phone. It's live, right? It's a real engagement and it gives a lasting impression. So it's a great tool to help drive occupancy. And if we get people to um, uh, uh, RSVP, right, most of the events have a seating capacity. As soon as we hit the seating capacity, we're going to stop promoting because we don't want to oversell. But the issue is, what if people don't show up at RSVP, right? So it's a case that really the idea, we use, like I said, hyper personalization to get people to engage. But what we did differently here is now not everybody who comes to these events has email, right? So one of our agents types is a VLA. We call it a virtual live assistant. So it's a case that if the person has an email address, we send them a reminder. If not, we phone them. Now, what does it sound like? I'm just going to play this here. Hopefully, so you can tell me if you don't hear it. Hello,
May I speak to Sean?
this is Sean.
Hi, Sean. I am calling to see if you are still planning on attending the Sunday brunch here at Shady Pines on Sunday, June 29th at 2 p.m.
Yes, I am.
Great to hear. How many people will you be bringing to the event?
There'll be three of us.
Thank you for letting me know. Have you been to the Shady Pines property before?
Yes, I have.
That's wonderful to hear, Sean. We're looking.
So definitely, it's a case, and it can answer questions about the event. It can be trained up on what the event's about, and it's using the base knowledge of the property. I see there's a question here. Okay, I'll get through the rest of this quickly. I'm running out of time is the reality. So end of the day, we get the empty seats filled. We don't have to hound the leasing counselors uh, uh, to go phone all these people because it can be done automatically. Um, and the last example is really about intelligent voicemail, right? Instead of, I went through this process when I was trying to find a better care environment for my mother-in-law. I'd phone a community and nobody would answer. And I'd get the voicemail. And the question I had is, if you can't answer your phone, how are you going to take care of my mother? Right? So, and if there is a voicemail, there's nothing in it for the visitor. They're okay. When are you going to get back to me? That's never answered. Uh, uh, and what if the front desk was busy, but the person I wanted to get to was not was actually available? So this is how our VLA works. Is it's again the same agentic AI agent, but it's using voice to engage. So somebody calls, we're busy, so let's instead of going to a voicemail, it's let the agent handle it, and the agent is intelligent enough to route the call based on what the person asks on the phone. So I just want
Thank
to.
you for calling Azure Estates. This is Addie, and I'm happy to help you today. May I ask who I'm speaking with?
This is Shay.
Thank you, Shay. How can I assist you today?
I'm looking for a care environment for my dad, and I'm just wondering about the options that you provide.
Absolutely, Shay. We offer different care options, including independent living.
So the recording isn't as good as the last one, but it can literally answer questions and book appointments and change appointments by because it has access to the appointment scheduling system. So definitely, and we actually have so it's nice for pre-qualification, and we actually have clients that are actually doing it to call and qualify leads.
Thank you for calling.
Is the reality. So I'm just going to wrap this up to talk about the other side of the coin, which is the tools to help you get things done, which is the marketing assistant. And really, what the Addy marketing assistant is it's trained, hyper trained on everything to do with active demand. And it's a natural language platform where literally you can just ask it, create a newsletter campaign for me. Resend that email that in this campaign that we sent yesterday, but send it to people who are in Calgary, and it will literally engage with you and do it. It will also make recommendations on the campaign saying, this campaign, the emails are way too long. Do you want me to go summarize the email content for you? So it is and it's trained on the platform. So it enables you to do pretty much anything that's in the platform through natural voice. And it's just from a trust, it's just like regular agents, gather requirements, create the plan, execute the plan. And the other piece to it is the reporting. So our Addy Analytics, it literally takes any of the reporting that we have and interprets the data in the context of senior living. So, for example, it seems fairly self-explanatory. Sales qualified leads or inquiries. How many based on the marketing channel? Okay, I understand stuff. But if you ask Addie about it, it gives you the details in depth, right? And not just the details, what needs fixing and what actionable steps you should take to actually fix the problem. And it's a case that so it's really turning the data into truly actionable information through its um, uh, insights, AI insight system. So that's the story today. So yeah, hopefully you've seen some real life examples of how AI can work and solve problems for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean, for sharing these examples. It's amazing to see how AI has come, how far it's come, and how it can help support your sales and marketing teams. If anyone has any follow-up questions for you, what is the best way to reach you, Sean?
Yeah, just send me an email, sean.leonard@activedemand.com. I think we can paste that here.
Sounds great. I will
We
make
also
sure
have let me give this right there while I'm typing this.
Perfect. That helps. And we'll make sure we post your content in the lobby room so everyone has it. Please, I encourage you guys to download this white paper from ActiveDEMAND and reach out to Sean if you do have any follow-up questions, which unfortunately we won't have time for Q&A. We do need to wrap for our next session with Katie and Christy on the 2026 SEO playbook. So Sean, thank you so much for joining us for this webinar today, and I look forward to talking more soon.
Okay,
All
thanks
right.
for having me. Thanks, everybody.
See everyone soon on the next session. Bye.